Hey YouTubers, something interesting here for you to look at. Obama was in Westminster Abbey in Great Britain yesterday, and he had a big speech, which I'll get to in a minute. But one of the interesting things about this, for some odd reason, Obama signed the guest book with the date May 24th, 2008. Now I know, in January, sometimes people put the old year, like say it's 2011 now, say January 2012 comes. You know how January is. Sometimes you still write 2011 out of habit. Okay, but explain to me, why in 2011 would he accidentally write 2008? Do any of you know of any time that you've ever done that and accidentally written down a year, 3 years prior? Well, you may find this as a stretch, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. Somebody told me about this. I don't know exactly the source of the comment, but I know Incognita 1989 shared it with me. Now, if you break this date down into numbers, 5/24/2008, and you take out the zeros, you could come to the conclusion that it says 5/24/28. And again, I said this might be a stretch to some people, but it's still interesting, and I feel like sharing it with you anyway. If you don't agree, whatever. I got more to tell you about in a minute here. If you turn to the book of Daniel, chapter 5, verses 24 through 28, that's the numbers, 5/24/28. And it talks about when the handwriting was on the wall. I forget who that was. Was it Belshazzar? I'd have to read it over again. But anyway, I'll get straight to it. It's when the writing was on the wall and that kingdom was about to be torn down. Yeah, it was Belshazzar. 24, it starts, "Then the fingers of the hand were sent from him, and this writing was written." And this is the inscription that was written. Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. 26. This is the interpretation of each word. Mene, God has numbered your kingdom and finished it. Tekel, you have been weighed in the balances and found wanting. And in 28, Perez, your kingdom has been divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Now I understand this is written to, Belshazzar, but it certainly applies to America, given what Obama is doing, throwing Israel under the bus and attempting to divide their land. So it's very interesting that, this could easily apply to America. Sorry about the background noise. God has numbered your kingdom and finished it. You have been weighed in the balances and found wanting, and your kingdom has been divided. And somebody shared a word with me yesterday that I wanted to also share. Regarding my video yesterday, somebody sent me and said that I should read Jeremiah 14. And here's a verse that stood out. This chapter is mostly about judgment, mostly about the horrible things that were going to come upon Jerusalem. And this is, when I was reading this and studying this morning, this is one of the things that stood out to me. Chapter 14, part of verse 10. He will remember their iniquity now and punish their sins. There's a lot more in there, but that's the one line that stood out to me. As if God was speaking that to me. He will remember their iniquity now and punish their sins. God has let America just continue to get worse and worse. America has continued to let abortions run rampant, homosexuality, sin, greed, theft, pride. The list could go on for days. This country used to be great in God's eyes. It started out as a Christian nation, contrary to what the liberals or Obama might tell you. And it was founded on Christian principles. But this country has fallen far from where it started. It's actually, I believe, surpassed the state of Sodom and Gomorrah. And, the Bible also says that it will be like the days of Noah, when Jesus returns. And part of the thing about the days of Noah was that the land was filled with violence and such. And I mean, if that doesn't speak of America, I don't know what does. You know, we watch UFC and stuff like that for entertainment. You know, and many other examples. So bottom line, like what I've said in other videos, America's judgment is at the door. You know, God will remember our iniquity now and punish our sins. And just as Daniel said, just as the writing on the wall said, God has numbered your kingdom and finished it. You have been weighed in the balances and found wanting. Your kingdom has been divided. That said, I was watching, or I was listening to Obama's speech in Westminster Abbey yesterday, and maybe I'll throw in some clips from it, but he was speaking about, he wasn't, I don't know, he was speaking in a lot of generalities, but one thing that I noticed was that he continually was saying peace and security. And anybody that's watched my videos knows that I've mentioned this several times. 1 Thessalonians 5:3 says, for they shall say peace and safety. Safety also translated as security. For they shall say peace and safety, and then sudden destruction shall come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Now, if you go back and you watch, there were 4 speeches between Obama and Netanyahu just in the last week prior to these tornadoes. And the number of times that peace and security were mentioned, it would take a long time to count that up because it was mentioned so often. Obama said it frequently, Netanyahu said it frequently, and I believe that's the focus of that verse. When they say peace and safety, meaning those involved in the peace process, when they're saying peace and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them. So, I was watching this, or I was listening to this speech by Obama yesterday, and he just said peace and safety, peace and security so many times it made my jaw drop. And I tell you, it's God is telling us that our time is up. God is telling us that America is about to be judged.
No one has a greater stake in the outcome of events that are unfolding today than your generation. And it's inspiring to see you devote your time and energy to help shape that future. Now, I'm not here to subject you to a long policy speech. I gave one on Thursday in which I said that the United States sees the historic changes sweeping the Middle East and North Africa as a moment of great challenge, but also a moment of opportunity for greater peace and security for the entire region, including the State of Israel.
Security, peace process. Israel wants peace. I want peace. What we all want is a peace that will be genuine. Peace, 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 peace. And security, peace with Israel. Choosing peace with Israel. To work with you to fashion a peace that will ensure Israel's security and will not jeopardize its survival. So in the coming days and weeks and months, I intend to work with you to seek a peace that will address our security concerns.
And the commitment of the United States to the security of Israel is ironclad.
Wiping out Israel's future as a Jewish state. So it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.